going on, everybody? King Nappy. Welcome to the Regal 30 podcast. This is episode 21. It has been a minute. How is everyone doing? I hope everybody is doing okay in these weird and difficult times that we're in right now. It has been a lot going on. A lot of stay-at-home orders being issued, a lot of lockdowns, businesses closing, businesses operating different, grocery stores operating different. Whew. I went to Aldi. Me and my wife went to Aldi about a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago maybe. We went in and we were getting ready to go in. We was getting ready to grab a basket. So you gotta get a quarter, put it in the basket. And we was getting ready to put a quarter in the basket. A lady come out, meets us, says like, "Hey, we only letting one in at a time, one per family." I'm like, what? It just wasn't making sense to me. I could imagine a mother with 2 or 3 kids, a single mother, going to a grocery store to take care, of some needs they got for the house, and you can't take your kids in with you. At least I was assuming that they would allow kids in. I'm not sure, but it's just different out here, man. It's getting even more unrecognizable day by day. We had talked about on our one of our podcasts, just what's some things we can do that's positive, that can keep us in a more spiritually uplifted mood. Oh, you can see back here, that's my wrong side. My crazy looking coffee station I got back there. Stuff everywhere. But just some things you can do to stay positive during this tough time. Some things that I've been doing, I love to just be creative and to create content. So doing stuff like this is what I do that keeps me in a good mood, that keeps me in a positive and uplifted mood. Just making content, whether it be digital art, whether it be physical art, whether it be podcasting, streaming some of my favorite games to play. I just bought that Hitman 2. I've been loving it. And whenever I stream it, I put the mask on, just to get a little serious in there. I put the mask on with it. I've been loving it. Just recently bought me a brand new gaming PC. Now it isn't top of the line. It isn't, absolute top dollar product. I think it was about a $500 gaming PC. But compared to my old one, it gets the job done. Gets everything that I need done. It's so fast. It's a stronger computer than what I had. The computer that I had was from 2000. And hold on, let me take this off so you can see. The computer that I had was from 2009. That's 2009. And it is 2020. There's so many technological advances. So many advances we've made so far as technology since 2009. So yeah, it was time. There's so many games out here that are data heavy, that's just ridden with data, so far as how it writes itself and how it computes and how it communicates with certain systems, consoles, PCs. So to have the system that I had as long as I had it, and what was crazy was I was able to stream from it. It'll get spotty, but sometimes on certain settings it wouldn't budge. Sometimes it'll actually just stream and it will do well. It was throwing me off. It was like it was an AMD Phenom 820 or something like that. I think that was released released in like 2009 or 2010. That particular processor, but yeah, got me a new computer. Love it. Nice black finish. Of course, it got RGB all over the place, but I like it. It's pretty cool. Right now, I got the little rainbow colors going on around here. Got a little remote control that came with it. Somewhere over here, got a little remote control. Came with 8 gigabytes of RAM, which isn't enough, so I had to upgrade that later. But it's RAM, so it's easy to upgrade. Just pop it in, be done with it. 3 RGB fans, i5 Intel Core 6-core processor, with the PVIA power supply, yada yada yada. Yeah. Got the tempered glass on the side, looks really nice. You can see in there. And I just got my package today. I'm still working on a video for that here. Got a package, came in the mail today. I got my monitor. Got me a brand new 24-inch, 144 hertz HDMI Scepter gaming monitor. And this thing is slick. It's a curved monitor as well, so that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what curved does, but it was a good price. I needed a monitor. I got a new PC. Why not? So pretty soon I'm gonna be upgrading my keyboard, because if you can see, this one has run its course. Speaking of, if you can see, for those who are watching me on YouTube, shout out to y'all. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, shame on you. Get to YouTube, go to the search bar, type in NappsandNurture, NappsandNurture, and subscribe. Probably picking up a new mouse, maybe. This one's getting the job done. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but I may want to be bougie, pick up a new mouse. Webcam is doing excellent, as you can see here. Microphone's been doing this thing. I may pick up an extra microphone pretty soon, but yeah. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the 5th generation of wireless networks, or networking. 5G internet. In 1979, 1G internet was introduced. It was nearly unreliable and only used by certain organizations who probably could afford it and who really needed it. The demand for it probably wasn't as large and sought after. That was in 1979. That went from 1979 to about roughly around 91. In 1991, the 2nd generation was introduced. That's when we started seeing all of the SMS, MMS, and GPRS, and emails on the go, and the basic building blocks of what our PDAs and phones and things like that are made up to do and required to do, as bare bones as it is today. That went on from about 1991 to roughly 2008. 2008, 3rd generation, 3G, pioneered what we see today, which is mobile gaming, TV online, surfing the web, video calls, sharing files. It definitely separate it and begin to open the door to new possibilities, open the door for new and innovative ways to share and get information to people with littlest time wasted as possible. Um, Communication is important, whether it be by voice, by audio, by text, by video. Uh, we're all communicating. With social media, you know, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and all these different things, these blogs. It's just various ways for us to communicate with one another. I was thinking earlier, man, shout out to, let's just take a moment. Shout out to content creators who be on YouTube giving tutorials and showing people how to do things and just doing how to videos. And no matter how minute you may think it may be or how big and grand you may think, just shout out to these guys, man. This is just a quick round of applause for these guys, man, for just doing what they do. A lot of people just don't realize the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that these guys save us from having to go to a car mechanic and get it fixed by showing us and taking the time and pull out his camera and be under the car, sweaty and it's cold outside or whatever the case, showing us how to, change the oil, showing how to take out a corporate alternator, or a lady showing other women or other people, how to sew and stitch. People who do tattoo tutorials and painting tutorials. People who even doing like small little aspects of construction, showing people how to lay foundation and how to do drywall. There's anything you search is able to be found because people are taking the time to create that content and communicate. This is how you do this. So shout out to you guys, man. My heart goes out to you guys uh, for putting the time in and just helping us save money. You know what I mean? Through communication. These are all things that the internet and things like that, the 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, all assist with, is being able to reach out to people that you normally would never have contact with and showing them something that they normally probably wouldn't have been able to be shown, saving them money that they probably wouldn't have been able to save. Shout out to those guys. Let's move on to 4G. So the 3G went on from roughly 2008 to, I'd say, it's looking around like 2013. 2013 hit, 4G hit. Everything that, and it's pretty much everything that 3G pioneered, but it was much faster. It was more so about cranking out faster speeds more than it was really bringing out anything new. Uh, like I said, the 3G pioneered the mobile gaming, the TV online. So you got the Netflix and the Candy Crushing and all that, and the mobile gaming, surfing the web, video calls, and sharing files. These are things that we normally do and we still do to this day. We're just doing it at a higher pace, a faster rate. Information is just being shared much faster, and from what I've seen and saw in certain studies, it's constantly growing. 4G went on, and we're still currently using 4G. From 2013 to 2020 with a question mark. The question mark is now the fifth generation of wireless networking, 5G. Let's go over some of the pros that I could see from the outside looking in, because I haven't really experienced much 5G in that way. Some of the 5G that we do have available, to me, it really isn't 5G. It's just a stronger 4G. Um, let's take a look. Benefits, of course, is speed. One of the guys on YouTube, Brownlee, I think is, I want to say it's Marquise, if I'm not mistaken. He did a speed test. He went to a location where they actually had 5G towers installed, and he actually bought a phone that is in that's capable of dealing with 5G. So that's why I kept saying like, well, we probably did have real 5G, but just didn't have the devices that could like really push its capabilities. So it just seemed limited on our end. But we have Charter, and they have like the 2G and the 5G available whenever Wi-Fi pops up. And the 5G, as they would say, was stronger, but a shorter, a shorter path that it could travel. Things can easily block it. If you're upstairs, downstairs, it gets really spotty. So a lot of times 2G would kick in our house, and we really didn't get a chance to really use and utilize the 5G as much. When we did utilize it, we would see an increase in speeds, but I think our devices just wasn't capable of rendering and handling that kind of speed, so it just sort of condensed it and just made it a higher 4G speed. But the speeds that Brownlee was able to run, from what I've seen, were upwards of 1500. I think it was megabits per second, or it was either megabits or gigs. No, I think it was like, I think he had got up to like 5 gigs per second, but it was like 1500. It was something like that. I could be wrong. But I remember seeing the number 1500 popped up on his phone, so I figured it was megabits per second. On average, most household with Charter, they're raking in anything from 70 to about 150 per second in megabits. So that's one of the benefits. Having extreme speed. And with speeds that high, there's a lot of things you can do with that. Uploading. With speeds that high, you could upload much faster. If you were able to consistently utilize a 1500 megabits per second, or however many it was, a few gigs per second, the things that we're doing now can be done in fractions of the time. With me being a content creator, if I'm editing a video and I try to upload it in 4K, it takes hours for it to finish up. And sometimes, if you're lucky, something will happen and it'll fail for no reason at all, and then you'll upload it again and it'll go through. You just have to wait an additional 5, 6, 10 hours. That was something that I've always been annoyed with. With the amount of time that it takes to make the video, edit the video, and then upload it, that's your entire day on a good video. So that would definitely help out with uploading. Being able to get content out there quicker, be able to multitask in a much larger scale. Yeah, that'll be epic. Downloading. You can download things much quicker. Right now on my phone in Wi-Fi, if I was to, matter of fact, let's test it out. We're gonna test this out. I'm gonna go to iTunes. We're gonna pick a song. A popular song. We'll pick the Tootsie Slide. We'll download that. Tootsie Slide. We're downloading now. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was about 4 seconds. 4 seconds.
Black. Never stop. Got so many ops, I be mistaken ops for other ops. Got so many people that I do nobody else. Yeah. If they moving shaky, we just do the self. Well, if I'm moving shaky.
4 seconds. Here go left foot right foot slide. Left foot was able to download one of the more popular songs in recent weeks in 4 seconds with the current internet settings and speeds that I have now. Right now we're utilizing I believe it is 4G. It may be 5G, but it's an iPhone 6S, so it's probably not utilizing the full capabilities of 5G if it is connected. But yeah, 4 seconds. That's quick. Yeah. And could you imagine just how much quicker it could be with the full utilization of 5G speeds? Low to extremely low latency. I know with me streaming, I deal with a lot of issues sometimes, from latency to audio dropping or something like that, just from internet. It's usually mostly like processing issues. Um, but these companies are excellent at making these beastly processors where they can render that. I just gotta stop being cheap and come out of pocket and pay for the bigger processors to handle what I need. But people who are dealing with internet issues, because sometimes that happens where you may be downloading or uploading a stream to one platform, streaming that stream from that platform onto a bigger platform and letting other people view it, and then they gotta watch it in after it's been funneled through all those different medias and platforms and things like that. And that could cause lazy, that can cause lags and droppage in frames and things like that. So having a connection that could just blow it out of the water like that, sending it through multiple platforms, it can come out nearly untouched if done correctly. Streaming VR, from what I'm hearing, streaming in VR can be pretty tedious. It's so much data that it has to account for. It's so many things that it has to be perfectly lined up in order for it to work correctly. And so a lot of guys who would love to stream in VR, because it would be fun. Think of a stream where they're streaming in VR and everybody's engaging. You see them playing their favorite game. They're bumping into things. They're getting scared or something like that. It could be a good experience for the viewer as well as the content creator. But oftentimes it's stifled by just the capabilities of the wireless network. New findings in technology and medical practices, informational access to low access regions of the world. I believe there's a lot of good that can come from it. But I think a lot of that good comes with a cost. Cons. Infrastructure would be completely cluttered, completely obnoxious, and expensive. Or at least in my opinion, I think it would be pretty obnoxious because of how short the wavelengths are for people to actually be able to catch a signal. It has to be piled together. It has to be close. There has to be a large quantity of them for an area or a city or a particular plaza or a building to have sufficient 5G wireless network capabilities. You go into a store, you got different walls here, objects here, and it seems as if the 5G is able to be thrown off by various objects. Doesn't travel real well. So if we're looking to make this a primary wireless network that we as a country or possibly the world will be utilizing, that's going to be expensive. That's going to be obnoxious. It's going to be cluttered if they're going to do it the way that I think they would do it. Device compatibility. So right now, most of the devices that we use probably don't have the capability to use a full fifth generation network, wireless network. So we would have to go and buy all new products, all new devices in order to completely take advantage of the 5G wireless networks. Other thing that I'm thinking about, I just thought of, is if it's able to do all these things, which I believe it can. If it's able to do all these things, more than likely the price for internet would definitely increase. I can't see it staying the same. Um, Definitely going to be some cost for infrastructure and building all this. You might see guys coming working on phone poles and installing new towers and new panels and things like that. Well, yeah, that was definitely one that I thought of, was just the compatibility of the devices that we already using. We would have to swap out everything. And last, the radiation. There's been a lot of post speculation, people saying conspiracy theories, different conspiracies on whether the corona is actually a virus that's been going around that's highly contagious that we needed to wear face masks for, or are these actually the effects of 5G towers being built as we're being kept inside and being kept in home? Is this something from the 5G wireless networks? Which is to me, that's a good question. It's a valid question. You know, is this what's causing this? Or is this really a virus? Is this virus man-made? Is there an agenda behind this? And I've discussed this in some of my previous podcasts. My thought process is it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if this was man-made or not. It wouldn't matter if 5G radiation was real or not. I'm not saying that it's not real, because of course it's real. It wouldn't matter because we as a people, we're constantly looking for the next latest and greatest, always. And that's what hurts us. And they know we want the latest and greatest. They know that we'll sit here and twiddle our thumbs for as long as we can dealing with 5G capabilities. But if we know that there's a 4G, I'm sorry, dealing with 4G capabilities, but if we know that there's a 5G out there that could cut everything that we're doing into a fraction of that time, that huge file that takes time to download, like Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 take about 5 weeks. Take about 5 weeks to download Grand Theft Auto 5 sometimes, depending on what network you have, what time of day it is. Don't let it be 5 o'clock in the evening when everybody's back home from work. Hang it up. Get you a sleeping bag. You're going to be there all day. I'm just not understanding. Grand Theft Auto 5 takes so long to download. But could you imagine a game that normally would take 5, 6, upwards of 7 hours to completely download, and then when you download, he has to update, that now you have access to a wireless network that could download that same game in 10 minutes, maybe less. Yeah, I got access to a network that could download the same game within minutes. We've always craved the latest and greatest. So if there's going to be a if there's going to be anyone who's going to push for the 5G, right now is not the consumers, but pretty soon it will be. It's only so long that they'll hold out. It's only so long before they'll be calling, asking for the upgrade, asking for the new, latest, and greatest. Do we want the 4G, the 5G? Or we want to stay with the 4G? We know what we want. If there was a way we can get it without the radiation, without the side effects, yeah, bring it on. We've dug this hole ourselves. Gotta learn how to appreciate what you have. Be grateful for what you have. Learn how to make it work. I mean, I'm done blabbing. This is King Nappy. You are listening to the Regal 30 podcast. I will catch you guys soon.